Welcome to our Holding for Healing on September 16th. And today we're going to be holding our empathic nature, Some of you know from classes that you've attended with me that I have observed over the years that particularly for those of us that have experienced trauma as children, and it's pretty hard to get through this life without some form of trauma, our empathy tends to be oriented toward pain. It tends to be oriented toward what is difficult. And it's a journey. It's a conscious journey. It's part of our journey of self-actualization to decide that we could actually also be oriented to our joy and our happiness. We could have our empathy work for us to experience more of the emotions that we want to experience. So I want to share with you today a little bit of wisdom from Mary Magdalene. She's one of my heroes, one of my guides on the other side. And I was privileged some years ago to be asked in a vision from Satya Sai Baba to actually recover her words. She wrote what Satya Sai Baba presented as books to me, but we would call them biblically epistles. They were little letters to other people in her community. And she taught some principles of love. She taught some beautiful principles of love. And in the book, if you don't have it, you can pick it up. It's Sacred Feminine Awakening, Wisdom from Mary Magdalene on Healing the Self. I started recording her records, what she had written many, many years ago. So kind of a unique form. I guess you could call it channeling. I don't really think of it that way, but it is. And one of the things that she taught that I love, and I was doing some research today and pulling some things together for the Gold Circle in She Academy about forgiveness. And I reconnected with her teaching about receiving. And I thought, oh, what a beautiful thing to think about when we're opening our empathic nature to more beautiful experiences. So here are the four. I'm going to read them to you, and then I'll pop them in the chat room so you can copy them for yourself. The four ways she recommends we approach receiving. And she said the first is to receive God's grace from yourself. Interesting, isn't it? Receive God's grace from yourself. And the second, receive God's grace from others. Receive God's grace from others. The third, share your healing gifts with others. Isn't that an interesting way? And for those of us that are healers, we know how that works, right? As you're helping another heal, you are also receiving that grace through you. So she says the third step, share your healing gifts with others. And the fourth, I love them all, but I'm about to say this is one of my favorites. Receive pleasure in using your healing gifts with yourself and others. She gets this pleasure piece. She really does. Receive pleasure in using your healing gifts with yourself and others. Excuse me, just a minute. I just put the 4 in the chat room, so you can copy them if you want to. And I'm going to put the name of the book in the chat room too. I just need to write it out so I can put it in there for you. Thank you for your patience. I'm a fairly fast typist, but still, that's a lot of words. I was into long titles then. This is the full title. You can find it on my website. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it a lot of places these days. It is in digital format only. So if you want a hard copy, all you have to do is after you buy it, just let us know you bought the book. And Jeff or I will send you a PDF of it. Then you can print it out. They're small. These are really small. Yeah. So tell me in the chat room, which one of these struck you? Which one of those 4 did you say, ooh, that one's mine? That's mine to look at in my life. That's mine to work on. That's next for me. Was it 1, receive God's grace for yourself? 2, receive God's grace from others? 3, share your healing gifts with others? 4, receive pleasure from sharing your healing gifts? 1, yeah. Oh, I get it, Colette. No, Cassie, and I think Colette's in the same spot, so we get it. Thanks for telling me. 1, 4 for Michelle. Yeah. 1 and 4. Interesting. Okay. Yep. Number 1. Yeah, sharing your healing gifts. So 3 for you. That's awesome too. Yeah, Dorina 1. Hapa says 3 and 4. Elizabeth 1 and 4. Ariane 4. Marilyn 1. Yeah. There's a 2. Oh yeah. Excuse me. It does settle down. The coughing does settle down. All right. I just about had that licked and then I got COVID and it all started back up again. So 1 and 2. Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, Pauline 3. We've got a 4. Anna. Yeah. So the question is, which of those 4 recommendations from Mary Magdalene would you say is yours to work on next in terms of receiving grace, receiving love? Getting your empathy realigned in a new direction. Which one of those would help you focus your empathy in a new way, in a more meaningful way? Oops, I just did 3 questions. So anyway, which one of those 4 resonates with you? Pleasure is a radical act for women. I would agree. Yeah, Debbie, I agree. Enjoying some gifts. Especially when we're struggling with chronic illnesses, tragedy in our lives, those kinds of things, it can be really, really difficult. Yeah. You want me to list those again? Here we go. Give me just a second. Anyone else want to put anything in the chat room that I'm always sharing healing ocean. That's a beautiful way then to open that for yourself. 2. Yeah, it's beautiful to know where we are. The gift to know where we might be able to focus our energy in a way that our empathy starts moving more toward pleasure rather than the pain. Yeah. Receiving, what did she say in terms of receiving grace? From yourself. from yourself. We might think of that grace as compassion for ourselves. That grace is acknowledging a greater view of who we are. Maybe we're more capable, more precious than we've seen. Ariane, I'm going to ask for a little help here. Are you up for that today? I
Yes,
don't think
of course.
holding for healing, because I'll be pausing every 2 minutes to clear this. It's coming up from my lungs and coming out. I think I need to honor it. So,
Well, the weather's been changing around here. Misa and I live fairly close together. And so between allergies and barometric pressure shifts, I've had a little of that this morning too. Okay. Are we ready to go into the holding, or do you want to? I think Misa's kind of holding out for now. So are we ready to go into the holding so that we can hold all of that grace and receiving in the meditation? Okay. So we can open our hearts to receiving. And if you have difficulty receiving any one of those four, you can hold that too. You can hold the difficulty in receiving God's grace from yourself. You can hold receiving God's grace from others, receiving, sharing your healing with others, or receiving pleasure from others. So if there's any area of your life in which you need to hold the receiving, we can do that in the holding. So get comfortable and breathe and relax. Simply breathe in and out, slowly and easily, as deeply as you can. Breathe into your body. Breathe into the connection with the earth. Find that quiet spot within. And now drop into your heart and remember a time where you felt unconditional love. May have been a moment with a person or an animal when you connected with a plant, a tree, or a flower, or when you were sitting beside the ocean or a river or in nature, and you felt enfolded by the unconditional love of the universe. And if you can't quite reach that moment of unconditional love, feel the possibility of unconditional love being present. And now see, sense, feel yourself dropping into your womb, your energetic womb, and the darkness that is within you and surrounding you, the darkness between thoughts, between atoms, the darkness of the night sky before the stars, before sound, before light. And this is the portal to the divine feminine. And consider what you would like to take into this darkness, coolness, and stillness of the divine feminine. What aspect of receiving do you want to hold in love and compassion? Receiving God's grace from yourself, receiving it from others. Experience sharing your healing gifts with others, or receiving pleasure in using your healing gift. Hold that in the darkness, in the quiet, and in the stillness. See it, sense it, feel it, for you are surrounded by the unconditional love of the divine feminine. And it enfolds you in compassion. And there's nothing you have to do to earn this love. And there's nothing that you can do to be rejected by this love. For it exists outside of time and space. It always was. It is. And it will be. And simply allow it to infuse you, to hold you, and feel your ability to receive and to share being embraced by this unconditional love and unfolding. Simply allow it to be. And if you find a little resistance there, a little uncertainty or doubt, enfold the resistance, the doubt, and the uncertainty in compassion. For the divine feminine's compassion is endless. It is deep. It is always present. And it embraces you. So your ability to receive, your ability to share, your knowingness that this is your birthright, rises within you and expands and rests and infuses you as it is wrapped in the unconditional love and the deep compassion of the mother. Knowing that you are meant to receive from yourself and from others, and to share your gifts with others and receive their gifts, and feel that pleasure that comes from being part of the circle of giving and receiving and holding unconditional love. For it is always present. It is always there for you, within you, in the darkness and the stillness, the quiet, and in the universe that holds you in love. And your ability to receive is unlimited. Your ability to embrace love is endless. It is a deep well within you that is always full, that you can always tap into because you are loved. You are loved by the divine feminine, and compassion surrounds you, enfolds you, and infuses you. And now you know deep, deep into your heart that you always carry this ability with you to receive love, to share your gifts, and to enjoy all of the love and grace that's within you and surrounds you. And you can always go back to tapping into the darkness, to touch, to feel, to hear, to see the unconditional love and the compassion that is always there for you and with you. And now let us come back to our bodies. And as you come back, you may get a sense of an I am. You may get a sense of an object, a symbol, a color, a sound, a feeling that you can bring back with you into your body, into this time and space. And we will come back on 3 deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and blowing out through your mouth. And on the first breath, breathe all of your inner energy back into your body, calling it home into your physical form, breathing in and blowing out. Shh. And on the second breath, breathe in the time around you, the light, the sense, the sounds, the time, the temperature, the presence that surrounds you in this physical form, breathing in and blowing out. Shh. And on the third breath, feel the clothes on your body. Feel the seat below you, Mother Earth beneath you. Being in touch with this physical form, breathing in and blowing out. Shh. And now, when you're ready, open your eyes and stretch, getting back into your body. Oh. Oh. And I always need to yawn. I always yawn coming back from meditation, need a little more oxygen. So feel free to yawn. Oh, yes. And if you can, turn on your cameras for just a moment so that we know you're all back. So I didn't leave anybody out in the universe. Good to see you all. Good to see all your faces. Come on back. It's time to come back to your body. Yeah, that's a lovely, warm, sweet place back out there. Okay. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. How you
Thank
doing, Misa?
Much better. Thank you. It calmed down as soon as we got in meditation. So I think I've just been talking too much. Sure. So thank you. Isn't it wonderful to have a sister you can rely on and say, please help me? And she's there and she knows the practice. Like, wow. So thank you, honey. Let's all give Ariane some love. That was beautiful. She took us right into receiving what is sweet and precious that we want. Yeah. So were some of you able to kind of feel that a little bit? Yeah. Just a little more of who you are, a little more of what you want to experience, a little more of that sweetness. Yeah, we're going to go into breakout rooms. Yes, I'm seeing in the chat room. So good. Yeah, several yeses. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's what we want. Good, lots of love. I'm going to send us into breakout rooms and then we'll come back, give you a chance to share a little bit. I'm going to put you in groups of 4, so you'll each have about 3 minutes. It will be 12 minutes there, and then we'll come back and we'll do a little more sharing and bring it to a close. And looking forward to that. So here we go. And there's no one facilitating there's no one facilitating the group. So the thing to, before we get started, to be aware of is that each woman has 3 minutes, and I'll give you a 3-minute sign that says, time to switch. It's really important in those moments to stop, finish your sentence. I know you might have more to say. That's what journals are for. That's why we keep them, so we can keep adding more. And that way, when you stop, it gives your sister her full 3 minutes. And we want to honor each other in that way. We do not give advice. We do not coach. That's not what this is about. This is about just sharing what we want to experience. If you don't want to share, you don't have to. Or maybe just an insight that you've had today that you want to speak to. By speaking to it, it's a way of saying, this is important to me. This is a part of my life I'm paying attention to. I'm choosing this right now. As we're coming into full moon, it's really beautiful to recognize what it is you're focusing on so that the creative energy over the next 2 weeks can start catapulting you toward that sense of fulfillment in what you really want to experience. Does that make sense? Yeah, ride the full moon energy. It's powerful. So speaking to it helps with that. And you'll know intuitively who's first or second or third or fourth. It just works out kind of sweetly that way when we're open to each other. All right, any questions before we go in? All right, here we go. Some of you might be, got some bigger groups here. Hang on just a second. Let me recreate that and make it a little easier. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. All right, my loves, off you go. Hello, we've got about 6 minutes before the 7 minutes before the groups. Oh, Amparo, go ahead and unmute. Do you all finish? Ah, okay. All right, well, it'll be just a few more minutes. Hannah, did you all finish too?
Yeah, we had something amazing happen.
Well, beautiful. Oh, awesome. Okay, well, hang in there because I'm sure some of the gals will want to hear that. We've got
Oh
a
my
few.
gosh.
We had some groups of 4 and some of you were in smaller groups, so it'll take a few minutes yet for everybody to share, but we'll get there. So by all means, feel free to journal if you had a beautiful experience. I love to get my journal out and get those written down so they can guide us a little bit longer. All right. We've got about 4 or 5 more minutes yet. If you need a bio break, by all means, feel free to take one. Hello, it'll be about 3 minutes before everybody's back. We had a few groups of 4. We want to make sure they get their chance to share. So this is a great time for a bio break. It's a great time to journal a little bit if you had an experience or an insight. And then we'll be back and bring the circle back together in completion.
I guess it was a message that said to switch. So I thought it was back to switch to you.
I see that's what happens. Switch means switch people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, got it. Oh, so you came out early, darling.
Yeah,
Oh, I get it. I don't have a way to.
I know. I tried.
You tried to go back in? I'm wondering. I haven't
No, I
found.
tried to go back in, but I guess the other 2 people left too. Because I said time, it says to switch, so I thought it'd switch back to you.
Oh dear. Well, maybe we just needed your good energy here.
Okay.
Isn't that something? Yeah, I'm looking for a way to get you back. Hang on a second. I'm going to try it. Is that, no, it won't let me do it.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
It has its limits. All right, so let them know we'll be switching. The fine art of breakout rooms. Okay. They haven't given the notice, so excuse me. Oh, it's so beautiful. Now I can see what's in the chat room. Our ocean goddess Denise says, my unconditional love moments are always with my mother, my children, and my sisters in nature with the ocean and the sun. Isn't that gorgeous? Ooh, how pretty. Yay. We're on our way back. Let's see. Almost. All right. I think we're all back. There isn't really a way to tell. You kind of guess. So who was in the best group? Yes, yes, yes. We all were. Of course we were. Amazing, amazing women. Isn't it awesome? And we have some men here with us too. So amazing people. Yeah, in our group. So, so beautiful. So is there anything that you discovered today that you'd like to share with the greater room here? Or a question you want to ask? We got about 10 minutes, so we got a little time to be. Yeah, Karen, please.
Hi, Misa. Oh, this is such a lovely experience. I was just saying to the two ladies I was with who were absolutely beautiful energy, how it was so seamless the way Ariana was able to take over and lead into the meditation while you recovered your voice. And it's just such a great healing, loving, safe space. And it's nice to be able to know that we're not alone on this journey. We're all one, and the power is so much greater when we're all together and in union. So thank
Yeah.
you for holding this space for us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Karen. Let's give Karen some love. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. None of us are doing this alone. It's reassuring, isn't it? It's very much the feminine way. It's not about somebody being the person or in charge. It's not about that at all. It's about the community that we're creating, the space that we co-create together, and that Ariane so beautifully led us into. That space where those deep, deep shifts can happen. And we're so powerful together. So very powerful. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, Nini.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I had a question from about something you said in the beginning, and you said something like wrote it down that when you have trauma, that empathy is oriented towards pain, but that you can change it so that empathy can be changed to be orientated towards joy. And that really just, it was something that I never thought about. It like go, wow, well, never thought about that. So could you talk a little bit about it, Roy, do you think?
Yeah, sure, sure. So one of the things, Nini, that happens when we've been traumatized is that we're often traumatized by someone who loves us.
Yeah.
right? Most trauma happens with parents or a teacher or a priest or a reverend or a, right? We're a teacher, we're traumatized by someone that we respect, that has some degree of care for us or love for us. And so when that trauma happens with individuals that we love or that love us and that are in some kind of position of authority, what happens in our little minds and hearts when we're little is that we map love onto pain. Love equals pain. So now I'm trying to open to God's love, right? And I'm thinking, yeah, but that's really scary stuff, because I know what happens when somebody loves me or I love someone. Pain is going to happen. I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to be rejected. I'm going to be abused. I'm going to be disrespected. So now it's not safe to feel love, as love is associated with pain and suffering. And so it's a concerted effort that we make in our journey of self-actualization to be able to say, wait a minute, that's not the only experience that can occur with love. I could also experience what it is to be respected, to have joy, to know what happiness is, to know what it is to be heard or seen. I can have those experiences too. And we practice it. Ariane took us into a practice of that, of feeling divine motherly love. What is that? And giving ourselves permission to say, okay, I can sink into that. I can do that in this safe place with these women, with this sacred energy, that love that loves me eternally, and see what that's like to love at a bigger level, right? A more expansive experience of love. Sometimes it's easier to lean into that greater expansion. Say, oh, that, and oh, that was okay, or that was scary. Because sometimes we have a reaction. Sometimes it doesn't feel good at first. And then we can hold that. Ooh, that was scary. So, okay, I'm going to hold that with compassion and caring, respect for myself. Ooh, that was beautiful. That was kind of blissful. That was kind of yummy. Oh, I could have more of that in my life. And now your natural empathic response starts moving toward a greater love and a pleasurable love. And we start creating a new reality for what love means. It's not just pain, or it's not love and then pain follows. There's love. There's love through the pain. There's love through the joy. There is love. There is love, always. And when I choose, I can literally shift myself into being more aware of that love as something pleasurable and joyful. More and more and more. Does that help, Nini?
Yeah, it helps a lot actually.
Oh,
I think I had a bit of a problem with the meditation today because I didn't really understand what was going on.
well,
So
it was a little confusing too, so my coughing didn't help.
no problem. But that helps a lot. Thank you. Thank
I'm
you for
so
clarifying it.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. Thanks for asking me.
Thanks.
Let's give her some love.
Thanks.
Yeah. Did that provide some insight for some of you about how we map love onto pain, and then we're stuck every time that we start to love? It's like, I can't do that. That's going to hurt. I'm going to get hurt, right? So we want it, but we're rejecting it at the same time. So we're doing this and nothing's going to happen. We can't feel the depth of love we want to feel. So when we give ourselves permission to keep going into that love, more deeply into that love, letting it be pleasurable, we start experiencing more pleasurable love, and our empathy starts working more toward the pleasurable. Now it's easier to feel joy. It gets safer to feel joy. Valerie, do you have a question or something you want to share?
Yeah, I would like to share something I didn't realize as being in this holding for the first time with the group today, that it seems to give me permission indeed to love myself as I've never felt loved there was no room for me. So apparently unconsciously, I thought, oh, I'm not allowed even to love myself as they are doing it. I shouldn't be doing it or something like that. And uh, I've always felt I was very loving, but much more I'm realizing now towards others. And so, yeah, this holding seems to give me permission. It's weird to need permission, but so somewhere at the back it was there that I didn't have permission to really love myself. So this is, yeah, beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful realization you let yourself have.
Mm.
That was what you learned, but that's not how it is or has to be, right? That you get to create a reality for yourself, to be a woman of your choosing, as we say, to create that reality for yourself where you get to experience what it is to love yourself and that it's okay. In fact, it's the way the divine really gets through to us very often, is through that love for ourselves. So bravo for giving it to yourself. Yeah, let's give Valerie some love. So happy for you, sweetie. Thank you. Yeah, could some of you relate to what she's saying? Those messages that we get, it's not okay. You're supposed to love everybody else, but no. Loving yourself is selfish stuff, and it's just not true. That's not how. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you met the divine, the source of all life? Do you really think the source of all life is saying, well, I love all of you, but not me? That would be weird. How would that be the weirdest thing? How is it even possible to love all of us and not love yourself, right? When you're conscious of yourself, we're a part of the consciousness. So self-awareness is aware of love. That's everything, everybody. Nobody's left out, not even the self. How fortunate we are to awaken to that love within us. Yeah, exactly, Linda. The more that we open and allow that love, the universe will respond with more of the same. Yep, the universe reflects that love over and over to us. Yeah, Carolyn. Carolyn. Hi.
So much, Misa. I think I still have a question, and I'm wondering if you can speak with this, because I know for myself, in letting love with another person, like in being open, say, to romantic love, I know a lot of us, as you were saying, have had some really chunky experiences with this. And do you feel like in allowing ourselves to go into the love, of course, we're not necessarily going to be letting in pain again, but I guess I feel like, how do we know that there's not, I mean, I feel like there is it that we've gotten to such a healthy place in ourselves also, and that we also have such good boundaries that even as we're going into the love, we're not, or are we always just open to that level of heartbreak that we've experienced in the past, and that's part of the loving journey? I guess that's a question I have for myself, is that when we're open, the world is a painful world, unfortunately. So we're going to feel pain, and that's part of the love. I'm still trying to figure this out, I guess. Anyway.
Because we get afraid, right? If I open myself up like that, I'm just going to get hurt again. And that keeps us from opening ourselves up, right? Yeah. And what's beautiful about developing in self-love is that there is an awareness that for each of us, that our happiness, our joy, our sense of fulfillment is right here. It's not dependent on another person.
Right. Got it. Yeah. That makes total sense.
So if Jeffrey is having it, because he's okay with me using him as an example, if he's having it
for Jeffrey.
Yay, Jeffrey. He's so great about this. So he's having a rough day. He's not present to me. He's
Right.
having a rocky time. My buttons are getting triggered because he's having a rocky time. I know what my work is. My work is, Misa, this is not about what you need or expect from him. Go sit down, get still, fulfill yourself, be in your center. Now I can have a different conversation with him. And I
Yeah.
can say, honey, if you're being this hard on me, how hard are you being on yourself, love?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
That self-talk in there, because that was harsh. And now we're in tears and we're like, oh, darling, I'm sorry. You know what? I love you. And it's a different spin. Yes, there's pain,
Right.
but you're right. There's so much love underpinning the pain.
And you're not dependent on him in any way. So you can be like, you're good in you. And so you're going to go for a walk or go take care of some things without getting enmeshed like in a healthy in an unhealthy way with whatever this other person. And if they're acting out, then you can address that later. Like you were kind of, yeah, that's so beautiful and that's so helpful. And I thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. You're
Yeah.
so welcome. And it's such an important question because, Carolyn, it is where we get afraid and then we don't step into that intimacy that we long for, right? And when we get, it's our work. And Jeffrey and I get enmeshed too, for sure. I think of it as self-actualizing, not that we're always, the grandmothers say, we're always on a journey of awakening. That doesn't end and then the problems go away. We are just learning, oh, how do I want to be with this in a new way that allows more love into the space? Because the more love there is in the space, the less pain there is. Now my empathy begins to move toward that love, that compassionate love that can sustain no matter what. Will sustain. I will be okay no matter what.
Right.
I'll be okay while he's here. I'll be okay while he's gone. I'll be okay when he crosses over. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. And when I know that, now I get to play. I really get to play. Yeah. So let's give Carolyn some love. Thank you.
Back to everyone. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Could some of you relate to that? That fear that keeps us from the intimacy is so important. And this work you did today, this is it. To allow your empathy to go deep into love, where Ariane took you, then to allow your empathy to bring you to more pleasurable feelings so that you start balancing out your teeter-totter. If you've been in a lot of pain, it's kind of lopsided, right? There's a lot of pain going on, not nearly as much feeling great and good. We're going to balance that out so that life isn't just about pain. We don't have to fear the love. We can have a whole new relationship with it. And you did that today. You gave that to yourselves. So I want to share in closing a little something from, since we're talking about love, a little something that Mary Magdalene said that I wrote down. I think you'll appreciate this because it's about healing love. And she said, there is but one true healer, and that is love. In all its shapes and sizes and forms, love. You may try many things in your attempts to heal. You may hear of many formulas of herbs and potions to use, but without love, the results of all you use will be temporary. Lasting healing requires love. Do not let yourself become distracted by the methods. Learn them and use them with skill, for they have much to offer. But always remember, the greatest healer is love. Yeah. Sweet, isn't it? And here we are, opening up to love. So I want to thank you for opening your hearts today, for all of the beauty that you let in, for the courage that it takes to say, I'm going to let that love carry me to more pleasurable feelings. I'm going to keep moving in that direction. Let that love, that empathy carry me to pleasure, because my empathy is so beautiful and so profound. And I deserve to know that. So bravo you. Bravo. So just so that you know, full moon ceremony, you can put it on your calendars. It is, 28th of September. So for those of you in Australia and Southern Hemisphere, that's an easier time. That's 5 o'clock Pacific time here. So that's going to be the next morning for some of you. For our sisters in Europe, I'm sorry, that's a hard one, unless you want to come join us in the middle of the night. But don't worry, in October, we meet in our morning, which is late afternoon for you. So October for full moon. But we can all join together in spirit. And if you are a guest today, and this is new, I want to pop in a place where you can get a gift from us. This is the holding meditation in its basic form. And it's right here. So you can go get that for yourself. Just click on the little, roll over that URL and click on the little dots, and you'll see a place to copy it. Copy it and put it on a document or note on your computer. So, and friends are always welcome here, sisters. Friends are always welcome. And brothers and friends, you're all welcome here. So feel free to unmute your lines and give some love to all these amazing people. And I can't wait to see you next time.
Thank
So,
you.
Namaste.
Well,
Blessings.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Namaste.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
I
you.
need you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
Looking forward to
Thank you
next
so much, Miss
time.
Misa. You're
Bye.
amazing. Thank
Thank you
you.
for the love.
Merci.
Love to you all.
Love you
bye.
all.
Love you all. Till next
Thank you for
time.
the love.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Light.